connected my microphone correctly. She's being really bad this weekend. By bad, I mean like purposefully knocking everything over. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm going to have to cut this out of the YouTube VOD somehow. I've never done that before, but I'm going to find a way to, because that's embarrassing. Hi, YouTube. We're at the end of the day, Sunday, headed into a very exciting week where we're finally getting some more information on the Nintendo Switch 2. Yay! Very exciting. Couple things. From a tech standpoint, what I'm doing is I'm testing multi-stream for the first time. I did stream this past Thursday, when we had another Nintendo Direct for days. But I've never in my life multi-streamed. So right now, I think maybe, although it wasn't working a second ago, so I don't know. I think I'm live on both Twitch and YouTube. And what I was saying is that if I can't get multi-stream to work before Wednesday, then I will just be live on YouTube. I have a feeling it's not working correctly. My Twitch doesn't look like it's live. It says it's live, but it doesn't look like it's live. I don't know what's up with that. This is interesting. That's interesting right there. Settings. Looks like it's live, but it's not. Well, that might be an easy answer right there. Might be an easy answer. Sorry, Twitch people. Maybe it'll work again. If Twitch doesn't work, Twitch doesn't work. I think Twitch isn't working. But tell me, you can all tell me if it's not. All right, well, anyway. It's okay if not. Let's talk about the Switch 2. I have a lot to talk about, so, and I don't want to be on here for like an hour, so let's chat. So, let me open my, what do I have to drink here? I have a Baja Blast. We're going to get Baja Blasted tonight. I also have water, so there's that. So, don't worry, I've taken notes because I know how much I will ramble if I don't follow some kind of a guideline. I've got like known and predictions and then a couple pages of stuff, I got a lot. Switch 2. I hope everyone is excited. I'm so excited. I think we should kick off the stream by rewatching, I should say, the Nintendo Switch 2 first look trailer that Nintendo put out back. Where did they put it was in January. The date's not on here. That's silly. January 16th, 2025. They put this trailer out. Let's go ahead and pop over to here. Yeah. Let's see if this works. Let's, a little reminder. We're gonna wet our whistle a little bit. We're gonna remember what we're fighting for. Why we're staying alive for at least, I don't know, the rest of this year. We've got the Switch 2. Right now it's the Switch. Give it a second. It'll transform before our eyeballs. We've got like this hollow, I think, soundbar. We've got a USB-C. That's not new. We've got another USB-C. That is new. We've got a little bumper. We've got our kickstand. It's different. Wow. And then our Joy-Cons become these slightly larger, slightly sleeker looking, with this like more of a muted instead of the neon red and blue. Cute. Oh, I still have my Move On up for the old stream. Ignore that. then it gets all jazzy music. That's probably not jazz, whatever it is. We see the optical sensors, in theory, being used here. We see the magnets, the snapping in place. Great. Nintendo Switch 2. And we just recently got the little render that we see that button on the bottom right has a C on it. It's a C button. And we also got to see this new Mario Kart game. It's Mario Kart. That's all there is to it. It's Mario Kart. There's more to it, but it's been dissected over and over again, not by me. So it's a new Mario Kart game, though. So, yeah, and also we know it's backwards compatible. Let's do a real quick overview here. By the way, I shut off just now. I shut off the Twitch because it's not working. So if you were watching on Twitch, sorry, you wouldn't hear this anyway. Maybe I should say something in the chat to let people know that they should hop over to YouTube. Hello. Welcome in. So, let's start with the known. Half of which, or more than half of which, we just saw in that trailer. 1, backwards compatibility. We know that the Switch 2 is going to be able to play all or almost all, technically probably some will not be functional, but almost all Switch 1 games. They will not be able to play probably games like Ring Fit because they kind of require Joy-Cons. Switch 1 Joy-Cons. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a way to attach Switch 1 Joy-Cons. But they did say more or less that... Hold on. Hold that thought. I think I figured out how to get my Twitch back live. Maybe. It's a mystery. All right, anyway. So, what do we know? We know backwards compatibility. Great. What do we also know? Oh, yeah, and also the backwards compatibility includes cartridge, physical games, all these things back here with the red spines. It'll also include all digital games, eShop games, and Nintendo Switch Online games. Or at least Nintendo Switch Online accounts. We don't have the full unveiling of what Nintendo Switch Online looks like on the Switch 2. I'm assuming it's just going to be the same for now. Let's see. Hold on, I'm pulling up my Twitch. See if something happened. Nothing happened. Oh well. We tried. YouTube it is. Next. After backwards compatible, Joy-Cons optical sensor. So, you may have seen, hold on, we'll go back. You may have seen this little clip. Boop, 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 boop. Doo-doo. Right here, with these Joy-Cons that are like skating about on a surface. From what we know, what we believe we know, what's happening there is that there are optical sensors on the bottom of the Joy-Cons. So, of course, I don't have any of my 500 Joy-Cons in here. I need something. Here. Pretend this is a Joy-Con. It's nothing, it's not Joy-Con shaped, but pretend this is a Joy-Con, right? So if you're holding it like a Switch, you have two in your hand like this, or you have a surface like this. It's down on the surface, optical sensor on the bottom. Now it's a mouse. That's what it is. It's a mouse. That will probably be important down the line, but just want to say that. We know that. That's the thing we know. Next, new Mario Kart. They showed new Mario Kart, so we know that that's the thing. It's there. New Mario Kart. Next, Nintendo Switch Online and virtual game support. We know that Nintendo Switch Online is going to continue to be supported on the Switch 2. It's not like you make a new account. It's not like if you paid for a year of Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pass, it's useless on the Switch 2. It is just going to continue being live on your Switch 2. So that's good. Virtual game support. So in the Direct last week, Nintendo announced these virtual game cartridges, which is basically the new way that they're going to be managing digital games from their eShop. So then you have a virtual game, and it's like a little game cartridge that you can lend out to people. It's this whole thing. I don't think we have to get into it right now, but we do know that they're also being supported on the Switch 2, and we'll get to something. Actually, I'll just jump ahead to the something else with that. The something else with that is that on one of the pages where Nintendo themselves was describing these virtual game carts, they specifically separated two things. They said Switch 2 exclusive games and Switch 2 edition games, which means most likely what we're looking at is games that are made for the Switch 2, which cannot be played on the Switch. That's Switch 2 exclusive games. And Switch 2 edition games are likely games that were on the Switch, but there's a Switch 2 edition that's somewhat upgraded or somewhat improved in some way to be playable in a different way on the Switch 2. So that's an interesting little tidbit that we got just this past week. Right? The only other thing I wrote down in my known category, there's lots of other like little things, and some of them are technically rumors or technically leaks, so I'm not going to go too far into stuff like that. And actually, Nintendo's done a pretty good job of keeping wraps on the innards of this guy. They've done a pretty good job of not like definitively giving out what this system is going to be outputting in terms of power. So that's an interesting thing that we will hopefully find out. But we do know 2025 release date. This year. It's coming this year. We don't know when this year. There's lots of guesses. I'm going to tell you mine, but we do know it is this year. That's all the known stuff. I have to reopen this because my predictions are in here too. But there's my speech. This is my this is my speech for trying to get on Survivor. What else do I have? Hold on. I lost my page. Some passwords. If anybody steals this, my life will be in shambles. Hey, I found it. We're good. I found the page. All right. I hope nobody could like zoom into that and take my Survivor speech. That would break my heart. Break my little heart. Anyway, yeah, please, if you have thoughts, predictions, please leave them in the chat. They'll show up on screen. I lost it. Yeah, they'll show up on screen so everyone can see, the world can see. I want to make that chat bigger. Hold on, let me make that bigger so like people can read it because I can barely read that. And I'm on full screen, so that means other people can really barely read that. Hold that thought. Boop, boop, boop. Size. Bigger. 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 There. Save. Okay. Huh? I don't know what that means. I'm having some tech diff. I might have to stop the stream and restart it real quick. Let me just see. Let me see if I understand what it's fighting me over. I'm getting errors from YouTube. Oh, maybe I just have to refresh. Hold on. No, it still doesn't like me very much at the moment. Well, you tell me if the YouTube stream is being funky, and I'll restart it if I have to. Until then, I'm just going to talk about my predictions. What do you think the C button does? I'm going to answer that question now because I did not write anything down about it. So we know now that the C button, which is this underneath, can you see? Yeah, this thing right here. No, sorry, the square one right here. This is the C button. Wait, the square one or the circle one? I think it's the square one. One of these buttons is the C button. As in there's just the letter C on it. I don't know what it does. It's not the capture, because that's the one on the left. The circle's the home. It's not the home. C. How many things can that stand for? Crap. Probably not that. Maybe like... I don't know why it would be a C, though. That's the thing. I was thinking like maybe that's what you press to indicate that you would like to use the optical sensor, but why would that only be on one Joy-Con? Doesn't really make sense. Cast is probably a good guess, only because I can't think of anything else. Cast as in like broadcasting footage or something to some way. Hold C button and use the left stick as the new C buttons. I actually also considered that, but I just think it would be so silly. So I hope not. C for community would like warm my heart. I hope it's like that. All right, let's get into predictions, and maybe we'll come up with some good ideas while we're going for that. So let's start with release date, and let's start with release price point. Okay, there's in my mind exactly two ways that this can go. The two ways being early holiday season, meaning October or early November, early to mid-November, before Thanksgiving, which would be in line with like the Wii, or late summer, mid to late summer. In fact, early summer. Okay, you know what? Or June. We'll put it that way, or June. I said exactly two ways, and then I list like five. What do I think? I'm leaning towards it being June, and this is contradicting how I felt about this for a long time. For a long time, I have said it was going to be holiday season 2025. I'm now feeling a little more like, with everything they're showing, okay, there's two things. One, from when we saw the original Switch to when we got the original Switch, something like May or June, probably June, would make the most sense if you were looking at the same kind of cycle for the Switch too. So if we saw the original Switch in November of 2016, do I have that year right? Yes. And then we got our first trailer in January of 2017, and the Switch came out in March of 2017. It would make sense that we saw the Switch 2 for the first time January 2025. We got our first big announcement direct in March of 2025, and then we'll get our final game, our final release, May or June of 2025. That would make sense. Has Nintendo ever released a console in the summer? That's a good question. I don't think they have. They haven't recently. I have not looked at the historical dates before, like N6 or N64 or earlier, so perhaps. But they're also kind of all over the board with their release dates, so I wouldn't necessarily pay too much credence to historical dates for Nintendo's consoles. I think summer would be good for them because it gives them the opportunity to sell out, restock, and like really prepare and get the hype up and get games out before the holiday season. It's just a matter of, is it ready to come out? If it's not, then it's not going to come out. And then it will be holiday season. The other thing is that with all of the stuff that they showed for the Switch 1 last week, I do still think early summer could make sense. And because we have so many hands-on Switch opportunities in the next couple months, that tells me that like they're ready to go. They have consoles ready for people to try out. They have good chunks of stuff built for marketing purposes to the extent that it's probably ready to come out. So I'm leaning towards early summer, despite the fact that for the last couple years I've been saying late 2025. Price point, I'm going with $400. 400 buckaroonies. It's kind of an arbitrary price. It's more expensive than a Switch. It's not as expensive as a Series X or as a PS5 Pro. I don't know the tech behind the system. I don't know what it's worth. I don't know what it costs to produce. I only know what I think people will be willing to pay without like absolutely losing it, and I think that's $400. I won't be thrilled with anything 400 and up just because I'm broke, but I'll pay it 'cause Nintendo. I don't know what the tipping point is for like where people would start to say I can't, like I'm out. Probably like once you hit 500, you start to get people saying that they're gonna wait a little bit longer, or God forbid it's more than 500. I think people start backing out, wait for a price drop. I don't think they're gonna go that high unless something really shocking happens. So we'll see. But my personal bet is $400, and I personally also don't think that they're going to drop the price on the Switch One for a while. There might be sales. There might be like, big Black Friday sales on the Switch One with retailers trying to get rid of it for selling the Switch 2. But I don't think Nintendo's going to drop MSRP on the Switch One. I think they're going to keep that at the price range where it's at now, and then have the Switch 2 be the more expensive, fancier, newer option for a while. I do think they're going to keep selling the Switch One for a little bit too, even though it seems silly, especially like the Switch Lite. If we don't have a Switch 2 Lite, there's still people who want that Lite version. Are Switch 2 game prices in my predictions? No, they're not. I didn't even think about that. I hate that. I don't want to. I don't want to think about Switch 2 game prices. In my mind, from what Nintendo has said in the past, I think most first-party and third-party games are going to be retailing at $60 for full titles still. Tears of the Kingdom is the one super notable change from that. Louise, thank you so much for becoming a Superstar member. I hope you're well. Tears of the Kingdom is the one big exception. Tears of the Kingdom was $70. I think there will be some $70 games. I don't know what they are. They're going to be the big ones. Because when Tears of the Kingdom came out and it was $70, Nintendo said, this is very much paraphrasing, but they said something like, if a game is like big, we're going to price it that way. So that's why Tears of the Kingdom was $70. And I know some third-party companies are also sticking with their $70 price tags. So Ubisoft, etc. There will be $70 games. I feel like it's not going to be a sweeping move from $60 to $70. But we'll see. Let's move on from the price point for now. For a little bit. Ready? Let's talk about Zelda. Wow, what good timing. A Triforce tier member. Laker Link, hi, how are you? Let's talk about Zelda. Also, anybody who's here from Twitch, like Laker Link, I couldn't get the Twitch stream to work. I have to fix stuff. I couldn't get multi-stream to work. I had to give up. So now we're here. What was I saying? Zelda! So I just want to talk about Zelda because I love Zelda, basically. I think the idea of there being a new Zelda game shown, hard no, not going to happen. if that's in your mind, like, throw it away. It's just Tears of the Kingdom came out too recently. Echoes of Wisdom also came out recently. Any studio that would be working, unless another third studio came out of nowhere, but any studio that would be working on the big new title, they didn't have time to do it. Give them the little time. That's all. So there will be eventually, for sure. However, that doesn't cut us out from ports. That doesn't cut us out from what we've been asking for the past half a decade or more. Not Tears of the Kingdom, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD on the Switch 2. Switch 2 edition, in fact. We'll just call it that right there. Wind Waker HD. Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game. If you didn't know that, I love Wind Waker. I would kill to play it again, even though I could just pick it up on my Wii U, or I could pick it up on my GameCube or put it into the Wii. I understand this, but Wind Waker, love. Please give me. The other thing I wanted to say is that we did learn about these quote unquote Switch 2 edition games, and I know a lot of people are really pushing that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be one of those, which we can talk about in a minute. I think Breath of the Wild and or Tears of the Kingdom actually make more sense for a Switch 2 edition version to be around at or close to launch. I think that's what sells games more than, or sells consoles more than Metroid. Big Metroid Prime fan. There's not as many Metroid fans as there are Zelda fans, so it's a good way to sell consoles, and I think it's possible. I personally think it would be very, very cool to see. So, would be happy with that. I would be more happy with Wind Waker HD because I didn't finish Tears of the Kingdom. So, I got really far, but I didn't finish it. That was my fault. Anyway, let's move on. I'm embarrassed about that one. All right, Metroid Prime 4. That's the other one that I think is a likely candidate in some ways, and in some other ways it's not. Let me explain. So, Metroid Prime 4, we saw the trailer last week in the Switch 1 Direct. Looked good. Looked like Metroid Prime. Looked like Metroid Prime 1 HD, which they just put out. Now, a couple things. One, I was flabbergasted, absolutely dumbstruck by the fact that we did not see or hear anything about Metroid Prime 2 or 3 HD, which I feel really strongly already exist, as in they've already been made and for some reason have not been released or announced or teased or anything. So a thought that I have is that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 HD may end up being released on the Switch 2 as Switch 2 edition games, along with having Metroid Prime 4 also having a Switch 2 edition, which, again, a lot of people have talked about that. I'm a little on the fence about all of it, because Metroid Prime 4 has just kind of been riddled with difficulty all around its production, its release. You could tell me either it was coming or it's not coming, and I would believe you. So, we'll see. But I do think that would make sense in terms of why they didn't give us a release date for Metroid Prime 4 if they're planning on showing it again and giving a release date in the Direct this week. I don't know, though. I really don't know. Hold on. I'm going to answer from the chat. Do you think there will be any Fire Emblem? I actually didn't write down anything about Fire Emblem, but now that you say it, I do think it's possible. There's been a rumored, I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm just going to say there's been rumored Fire Emblem remakes for a while popping up, and since we didn't get it in this past week's Direct, I think it's very possible that any of these rumors that have been floating around may have been intended for the Switch 2 We'll see. I think 4. I think it was 4. Fire Emblem 4. Anyway. Next, what do I have? This is a good one. This one's just for me. This is what I wrote 10. I wrote Nintendo Switch Online update with GameCube games. I think hardware-wise, it would make sense that once we've moved on to slightly better hardware, we could, and slightly, better storage and stuff like that, we could get GameCube games on Nintendo Switch Online that are only accessible from a Switch 2 or something like that. Then I could also play Wind Waker that way. So I would also be happy about that for that purpose. But I also am really just kind of hoping we get a little bit of a little sprucing up, a little shine the old hubcaps on Nintendo Switch Online. Not that there's anything wrong. Actually, I just put out a video a couple months ago that I think Nintendo Switch Online is great service, huge value for what they charge for it and stuff like that. But I would love to see something a little updated on the Switch 2. So it's not like the same thing that you're accessing between the Switch 1 and Switch 2. My cat's being bad again. Next. Sorry. Ooh, that would be really cool if they put N64 games down to the base version and have GameCube be the new expansion pass. I think it'd be more likely that they would just add GameCube to the expansion pass. So if you're already paying for the expansion, then you just also get GameCube now. I already think the expansion passes are really good. If you play those games, if you don't play them, then don't get it, obviously. But if you play any of those games, the expansion pass is a really good deal for how many good games you get. On the same note or a similar note as the NSO update that I just mentioned, Nintendo, like literally begging you, please give us themes. Badges would be great too, but I'll settle for like just the inkling of a theme on my Switch, or if not themes, I just really want to bring back a little bit of personality into menus. Just, I want to boot up my Switch 2 and have it like I want to feel something. Nintendo. I want to feel something like when you boot up a DS, like when you boot up the Wii, like when you boot up the Wii U. I don't get that with the Switch. I love my Switch, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel the way that I feel with those other things. So personality, themes, that kind of thing. Again, very similar vein, really would love to get profile system kind of upgraded on the Switch 2. I don't feel confident that that's going to happen. I don't feel confident that either of those things are going to happen, but so it's less a prediction and more of a please, sir, may I have some themes? But I really would like a profile system and like a little tiny baby bit more of a community system where you can interact with people on your friends list at least, but ideally something like a nicer version of wow, I'm blanking on it. Miiverse, there you go. My brain was saying Miitopia, and that's not what I was going for. Miitopia is great too, don't get me wrong. Would love something. I don't want Miiverse back, to be clear. Miiverse is not the ideal system. Miiverse is cool. Like, looking back on Miiverse stuff is pretty fun, but it's not an ideal message board system. There's much better. I personally, someone's gonna come for me. I'm gonna like get somebody swinging in my window right now and smack me over the head. But personally, I think Microsoft and Xbox does those systems really well. I love their achievement system. I love their friend system. They used to do it better, actually. I feel like they've regressed over the years. And Nintendo used to do it better too. So whatever. So on the Wii, you could like literally message other people. You could buy eShop games for other people on the Wii and send it to them. No more. No more. Anyway, I just think so much to be desired in the community side of things, and the friend side of things, and the profile side of things, etc. It would be nice. And also, I love achievements, so I would like that too. Robin. She's being a brat. Anyway. What else do I got? Oh, I wrote good eShop? Question mark. The eShop on the Switch. There's something wrong with it. You all probably know this if you've tried to do much shopping on the eShop. I don't know what she's doing. It's just, there's something like slow about it. It's got really horrible loading times. It's hard to browse. It's hard to find new games. Oh, she brought her toy. Hold on. Hold that thought. She's making noise because she brought her toy to be thrown for her. This is her toy. Ow. Making a mess. Would you like this? I'm trying to lure her out here so I can show the cat to you all. Come here. Come here, you brat. Here. This is Robin. She's being just really, I love her to death, don't get me wrong, but she's just wreaking havoc today. Here, Robin, here's your toy. She had it stuck under the desk. Where was I? Who knows? Oh, good eShop? Yeah, it's just, eShop needs some fixing. Hopefully they'll do it. That's all. And I wrote return of S tier menu and eShop music. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Next. Return of point and clicks is my note. I didn't like, this isn't a script. It's just a bunch of bullet points. Return of point and clicks. So we looked at the optical sensor Joy-Con. We know there's going to be some sort of like mouse type usage. It may just be that is able to be used to replace the joystick movement, like for whatever game you want it to, or it may have to be programmed in. It'll be kind of a pain if it has to be programmed into the games that are using it. So what I'm thinking is there's some games like Detective Famicom Club is a great example. It's a great game. They are great games. There's 3 of them. They're kind of point and click, kind of text adventure games. They are fantastic without needing a mouse. You just have to scroll through 3 or 4 options with your joystick and select them. It's not that bad, but that is the kind of game that would really benefit from having a mouse, like when you want to use a mouse instead of a joystick. Same with something like, Professor Layton is one that would be great for that kind of thing. A lot of different games that used tapping features on the DS, on the 3DS, and the DS would be really good with a mouse. So something to think about. Some of those games could be coming back. There's also rumors about there being like a second screen attachment. She brought her toy back. I don't know. I kind of think it would be a lot to expect that we see a second screen attachment here this week. but I would love one. I would love to be able to play 3DS games. Oh, I would die. Can you imagine if there's second screen attachment? It's available day one. You can 3DS and DS games in the eShop, and NSO. Oh my god, I think it's too much to ask. I don't think it's happening. I would cry. Tears of happiness. It's too much. Hi, Baseball. Hi, Medi. I'm so happy to see some familiar Twitch faces over on YouTube. For people who didn't hear my explanation, I was trying to multi-stream. It didn't work out. So now it's back to being a singular stream over here for now. Next. Oh, I said, the other thing about point and clicks, I wrote Fallout Collection. I think Fallout Collection is a very possible third-party inclusion for Switch 2. It's been rumored for a while for Switch 1. Hasn't happened. But on Switch 2, you have the benefit of, if you can use the mouse, it'll make Fallout 1 and 2 a lot better. It's an option. Who knows? I should put it out there. Also classics like Myst and Monkey Island, which are just games that I love and would be really cool with having a little mouse thing. All right. General wishes is what I categorize. Oh, by the way, I have one really big prediction that I'm prepared to explain ad nauseum, but I'm saving it for last. Anyway, these are general wishes that I don't really think are going to happen, but I really want them to, so I wrote them down. Number one, Street Pass support. They don't have to call it Street Pass, but they should, because I love Street Pass. I think the Switch 2 should have Street Pass. I think it would do wonders in terms of getting people to carry their Switch 2s around with them, even though they're probably like way too big to fit in anyone's pocket and stuff. I still bring my Switch to conventions. I carry them with me. And for what? For nothing, because nobody can Street Pass with me. But from now on, if the Switch 2 would just add Street Pass support, everyone would be just so happy. So pleased. So, Nintendo, please, give me Street Pass on Switch. And also, like, any of those games that were good with Street Pass. Oh, also, like, the Street Pass minigames. Street Pass Me Plaza. We're getting Tamagotchi Life. We already got Metopia. The Mii's are back, baby. Anyway. On that note, what did I just say about Street Pass support? Games that are good with Street Pass support. Nintendogs. I rest my case. I love Nintendogs and cats. I actually am kind of surprised it didn't sneak its way into like a mobile game or the Switch 1. However, if we have the possibility of some better community features or something like Street Pass, I think Nintendogs is more likely to make a comeback. So I'll just put that out there. Gintoki, it's very, very funny that you say that. Nintendo Land, or another iteration, one of my general wishes is either a Nintendo Land or Switch 2 Sports, but there's already, we'll just say Switch 2 Sports, but I think that's much less likely. But maybe Nintendo Land as a inclusion for people who buy the system. Robin's being bad. I want to get back to that. I want to get back to, they should have given us 1-2 Switch with the Switch. They didn't. They messed that up. But it's too late. It's too late. It would have been a cult classic if it was free. Everyone would have it. They would think, this was actually kind of fun. But no, it's too late for that. However, we could get something else on the Switch too. Maybe it's 2-2 Switch. Something like that. I don't know. I feel like a game should be included. And if it's not included, I still want there to be Nintendo Land. There should be a new Nintendo Land. Point blank. Nintendo Land is fantastic. Give me Nintendo Land. Another game that would probably be more likely to be seen if we got slightly better community features. Just saying. And personally, I've seen a lot of people asking for better like Nintendo, like online multiplayer options or that kind of thing. I don't think the online multiplayer is the problem. I think the community issue is the problem. The problem isn't necessarily the like capability being there. It's being able to connect with people and find the people that want to play with you and connect with them in that way. So I personally, I think community is the issue going on here. Anyway, next. I wrote amiibo support ? I have a lot of amiibo. I just don't want them to be shut out completely. The chip readers are dirt cheap for Nintendo to include in their system, so I feel like it would be silly to not continue amiibo support for the indefinite future, but I'm just going to say it because I'll be really bad if it's not there. That's all. I think that's all the big stuff I wrote down. Oh, did I not say 3D Mario? I think it's 3D Mario is just kind of obvious, so I didn't say it. Everyone's saying 3D Mario. We haven't gotten a 3D Mario in a long time. It's probably a very strong possibility that it's been being worked on for years and that we will see it. That's it. That's the 3D Mario. I don't know what it'll be. I don't think it's going to be an Odyssey sequel. I think it's going to be something new. Can you imagine? What was the joke I made? It was a bad one, but it was something like, what if they remade completely ground up Super Mario 64 and now it's on like a 4K system, so it's Super Mario 4K. Wow. But it's still Super Mario 64. I wrote Kid. You can't see it. I wrote Kid Icarus / Smash because personally, if you're asking me, if Sakurai's been working on something, I would rather it be Kid Icarus than Smash. Personally, I could take a little break between Smash Brothers. I can wait another few years, several years even. Kid Icarus deserves to come back now. Also, if they just do Kid Icarus Uprising as a port, it's not a clean port, so it takes a lot more work than just from like Wii to Switch, but it's it's not building something from nothing. So Kid Icarus Uprising, maybe, please. I'm curious about what, I didn't write down like almost any except for Fallout. I'm curious about what third-party, like big third-party games people that already exist, people might think might be coming. I haven't actually put too much thought into it. I guess I don't care because I probably have them on other things already. Yeah. I want to jump to my big prediction and then we can just chat for a little. And I also have a bunch of fun predictions that people sent on social media when I asked. So I'll do that last, I guess. But I want to jump to my big prediction. I might be barking up the wrong tree altogether. And this is honestly not something I've heard almost anybody else talk about, or at least not like with any serious intentions behind it. But just bear with me for a minute. I don't have a hat. I was going to say, put on like a little tinfoil hat, you know? Take a big sip of water. Here's the thing. There is a director at Nintendo in Japan. Her name is, I'm going to say this wrong, Aya Kyogoku. She directed Animal Crossing New Leaf. She co-directed that one. She also directed Animal Crossing New Horizons. She is, I believe, the head or creative head, something like that. I probably should have like re-googled this before I talked about it on stream, so hopefully I'm getting some of this right. The head of Nintendo NPD, Nintendo Oh, did I write anything down? I don't think I did. Hold on, I'm looking. I didn't write it down. She's the head of the production group, number 5, which is the group that is basically in charge, as of the last we knew, basically in charge of Animal Crossing and Splatoon. However, the last thing that we know of for a fact that Aya worked on was Animal Crossing New Horizons. And we know that that game, apart from having a DLC, which she did not direct, apart from having a DLC, it kind of cut off in terms of like big updates immediately upon launch. We also know that game was immensely successful for Nintendo. It sold so many units, not only in games, it also sold so many consoles for a long time, partially because of the pandemic, yes, but also partially because of Animal Crossing. It was hard to get a Switch. It was near impossible to get a Switch. Big deal, big deal. So that was 5 years ago. Almost exactly 5 years ago. 5 years and 10 days ago that game came out. It was done before then. That's just when it came out. The average production cycle for an Animal Crossing game, for the past Animal Crossing games, has been ballpark between 5 and 8 years from what I could find while I was looking this stuff up. I think you know where I'm going with this. So, here's the thing. If we don't know what Aya Kyogaku's has been working on for the past 5 years. We don't know. We don't know. But it would stand to reason that with the success of Animal Crossing New Horizons, Nintendo wants there to be a new Animal Crossing, like ASAP. Take the resources, just take them and put out game, please. Make money. I think, honest to goodness, a new Animal Crossing game is not impossible for a launch window. Probably not a launch title, but maybe launch year. I truly, if it's not that, it's gonna be like some other weird thing that that studio's been working on. But I truly think that like big mega Animal Crossing game for the Switch 2 is something that'll be coming in the near future rather than the distant future. We'll see. We shall see, for sure. But that's my big surprise prediction. Only surprise because a lot of people are not talking about it. That is truly something I think is possible, though. More possible than other people are giving it credit. I think if we get a new Animal Crossing, I would really like it to be more of like a callback to New Leaf in some ways. Which again, I have a little bit extra confidence because our girl Aya also co-directed New Leaf. And I love New Horizons, don't get me wrong. But they also don't really need the full development time. I read that they started development. I read a couple different things, but one of the things I read was that they started development on Animal Crossing New Horizons in 2012, which means that game took about 8 years to produce and put out, which is a while. However, they were coming from some very different stuff while they were developing New Horizons. They were coming from the DS games, they were coming from City Folk. Like, I really feel like they felt like they had to reinvent a lot. And I think coming into the Switch 2, they probably don't quite feel that way. I'm sure they want to reinvent a lot. I'm sure they want to put out the best Animal Crossing game possible, but I feel like they know it's going to be a little bit easier, a little bit less heavy work in terms of like having to redevelop all of the villagers and having to re-render all of these textures and stuff like that. I think they have a very strong head start based on New Horizons, and so 5 years is definitely not an impossible development title. It's just a matter of if it's a good guess or a bad guess. I got a new follow. New subscriber on YouTube. Anyway, so let's talk chat. Brooklyn 40 really talking about Just Dance. I enjoy Just Dance. I really hope they don't show Just Dance in the in the direct this week. Just Dance is like the bane of live stream reactions everywhere. Just immediately copyright everybody's live streams. All of them, all at once. A party game of Animal Crossing like Nintendo Land. Oh, that'd be fine. It probably wouldn't be developed by that team, though. It'd probably be developed by a different team. But I'll take whatever. I didn't do Twitch because I couldn't make Big Judd. I think that's actually true. I think I need to redo a bunch of my Twitch reactions. Do I think Nintendo New York is going to be crowded during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct presentation? Yes. Yes, I do. I think it's probably... They're going to cap a line. That's my guess. I've never been inside Nintendo New York during a Direct presentation, but there was one time where I was in the area for something unrelated. Actually, I think it was related. I think I was there for Nintendo, but not, like, I didn't know that there was even going to be Direct that morning when I made the plans. And so I was in that area, but I wanted to watch the Direct, but I didn't want to watch it in there because I was actually working at the same time. I work from home. And so I set up my laptop and everything on the Starbucks across the street to watch this all going down. I had a pretty good view, actually. It was pretty good. I couldn't really see what was happening on the Direct, but I could see every time something fun happened, people jumping up and down. That was the Direct where Super Mario RPG got announced, I think. And anyway, what I'm getting at is when I showed up for that, there was a line of people waiting outside. A long one before Nintendo New York opened and let people in. And I think that one, which was not even as big, I think that one capped, like they weren't able to let everybody into that streaming area because there's a certain number of people they're allowed to actually let upstairs safety wise. I would imagine the Switch 2 presentation would be much larger than that one, which was like just some random Direct in the middle of the Switch's life cycle. So if you actually have an interest in going to see the Switch 2 Direct presentation at Nintendo New York, I would go as early as you feasibly can. People will be in line, I would guess, like the night before. On the bright side, you get to meet some cool people if you go early. I would try to be there by like 6 a.m. I know, Nintendo store opening in San Francisco. So exciting. I'm happy for all of the West Coast people. I've had access to the Nintendo store for so long. Somebody asked earlier, and I don't think I answered, about if I got into the lottery or the event to play the Switch 2. I didn't. I would cry. Yeah, I did not get into the lottery. I actually entered for every city, every single one. I would have tried to have flown to Dallas or LA if I got into those. I didn't get into any of them. Um, I'm on like every possible wait list for the New York ones. I haven't heard anything. I don't know for a fact like what Nintendo is doing in terms of like if they're inviting any content creators. I'm sure they're inviting media out, like, traditional media outlets out. They're probably inviting some content creators. This is a big one, and as of now, that doesn't mean it won't happen, but as of now, I haven't heard anything. So, as of now, I personally have no way to play the Switch 2 yet. I don't know. I'm not going to get my hopes up about it, so I'm just going to assume that I'm not going to get to play it. But we'll find out. I was also hoping that they would announce they were going to PAX East, which I will be going to. Speaking of, hold on, I have a giveaway for PAX East. Boop, boop, boop. I should. Where's my link? So speaking of PAX East, sorry, now we're going to go off on a little bit of a tangent. I'm going to PAX East in May, and I have a giveaway link to give away some badges that PAX shared with me. So if anybody's interested in going to PAX East, I got you. Well, I don't got you for sure, but I got you with a giveaway that you can enter. Hold that thought. The giveaway ends tomorrow evening, so it is very important that you enter it ASAP if you're interested. It's just a Gleam link if I can find it. Here it is. I'll put it in the chat. There it is. PAX East is Boston, May 8th to 11th, I think. It's Thursday to Sunday in Boston in May. Come on down. Anyway, what was... I'm having a keyframe frequency problem. I don't know what any of my errors are talking about, but it's fine. Again, this is why I'm testing stuff. Really, all of the errors are because of me trying to multi-stream, which didn't work out, so I'll fix that. Do I like Dark Souls? I've never played Dark Souls, but I will tell you, it's funny you ask that, because my boyfriend, whom I love so, loves Dark Souls, Souls-like games, etc., and has been playing Dark Souls, and I just can't for the life of me understand what about them is fun. Just constantly getting mad about dying and losing stuff and dying again. I'm bad at games as it is. I'm not playing a super difficult game just to get frustrated at it, personally. Not for me. Not for me. But, was there, hold on. All right, I'm going to pull up the comments that I got on social medias. So I asked on YouTube's community tab and on Twitter and on Blue Sky for people to post their predictions so I could share them on chat. What we got? All right, I'm just going to read them. Jeff says, no new F-Zero ever. I don't think you're wrong, Jeff. I honestly don't think. I think F-Zero 99 is as good as it gets, and we should enjoy it while we can. Because I don't think we're getting another F-Zero anytime soon, especially considering we know that Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart, is going to be presumably a launch title at this point. Roger says, SimCity will make a return as the smaller first-party game. Oh, I didn't even... Hold on. So he says, smaller first-party game that takes advantage of the mouse controls and the Joy-Con, and one of the disasters is Calamity Ganon. I don't know about that last part, but who knows, maybe. But that just reminded me... I think this is unrelated to what Roger's suggesting, which is a really cool idea, by the way. If you ever played SimCity, there's like disasters that can come, It's like Civilization. It's, it's a sim game, so disasters will come and tear apart your city. So it could be a first party game, and stuff like Calamity Ganon or Wario, like, somehow uses his motorcycle to crash through the whole city or something like that. I think that would actually be really cool. But what I just clicked in my mind while this was going on was I remembered the global playtest that happened not too long ago, a few months ago. Do y'all remember that? I didn't get in on it. I just saw the confidential post that people shared when they weren't supposed to. So there was I can't even give details because I don't know, but there was a global playtest that Nintendo did with 10,000 people or something like that. And it was like, I think it was kind of like a world building sim invasion aliens type thing. I don't know, but we don't know if that's going to happen. So maybe it could. Fede Paz says Mario. I agree. Zach Pack says, I'm going to make a bold prediction. Going to try and will it into existence. Luigi's Mansion 4 teaser. I don't think it's that bold of, or that unlikely, I should say, of a prediction. I don't know. Like, Nintendo does still love Luigi's Mansion. I love Luigi's Mansion. They did just put Dark Moon out. I actually wonder if it would be more likely that we would see Luigi's Mansion 3 as a Switch 2 edition game. Luigi's Mansion 3 is a really pretty game, and it might bode well for a Switch 2, but I don't really know, because we don't really know what the Switch 2 edition games are at this point. But Luigi's Mansion 4 would be really cool. Allie says, launch lineup, Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4 cross-gen, some gimmicky game that involves using the Joy-Cons as a mouse. I kind of don't think they're going to get too gimmicky with the Joy-Cons as a mouse, but knock on wood. Cyberpunk 2077, Elden Ring. Oh, that would be crazy. Somebody in the chat, sorry, I meant to say it, but I locked it away in my mind and forgot. Somebody mentioned Monster Hunter Wilds. That would be a crazy get. I would love that. Put that on the Switch too. Yes, please. But then I'll get mad because then I have to buy it again and then I have to start again because there's no cross progression. Anyway. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth double pack. Also mentioned by Allie. Very, very, in my head, possible. I've been saying there's something weird going on with Square Enix, Final Fantasy, and Nintendo for the past, well, now it's been the past a long time. Ever since they put Cloud in Smash and the original Final Fantasy VII on Switch, it's kind of like they really want to do something and they haven't quite done it. So I think could be. Baldur's Gate 3, Black Myth Wukong, WWE 2K25, and Doom, The Dark Ages. That's a lot of I'm really glad that I read this list because I was asking about third-party support because I haven't put too much thought into it. That's a good list. It's high hopes, but a good list. What's the chance of functional eShop or home UI customization? Probably not good, but I'm still asking for it. As I always will be and continue to when they don't give it to us. All right. I'm going to butcher some of these usernames. I'm sorry. Aldrike. A New Mysterious Murasame Castle by Grasshopper. Never played that, but I hope that for you. And A New Kid Icarus by Treasure. I'm just asking for an Uprising port at this point, but I'll take A New Kid Icarus. Lorcana? I love Lorcana, so oh, you saw I thought you were saying Lorcana on Switch too. It's Lorcana on my cup. This is a sticker from NAICs. I went to the Nationals in Anaheim. Fun fact about me. I got a sticker. That was it. I did bad. All right. This username, I'm not going to say. Well, I'll say the username. It's LizergOS. The rest is a little bit inappropriate. A safe prediction is a new Mario game. I agree. A wild one is a Ocarina / Majora's remake from ground up. I do think that's a wild prediction. I think they should do it, especially if this movie situation might be related to those games in some way. It could be related to Ocarina of Time. It's kind of classic. We'll see. I don't think that's going to be coming around the launch, though. Heads up there. Preacha says, launch lineup, Kid Icarus Uprising Remastered. Yes, please. Castlevania Lords of Shadow Trilogy. I'm going to say this wrong. Is it Jean d'Arc PSP? I don't know that one. Double Dragon Revive. Armored Core 6 Complete. Kingdom Hearts Integra Masterpieces. I was actually wondering if we could potentially be seeing Kingdom Hearts on cartridges and not as streamed games, but we'll see. Probably not. Monster Hunter Wilds and Resident Evil Remake Collection 2, 3, 4, 7 and Village. Again, high hopes, but could be. Starly, is it weird to say you want N64 Paper Mario remake on the Switch too, but the game be beefed up version of the OG? It's not weird. I actually, Paper Mario 64 is my personal favorite Paper Mario because of the little oinks, and I will stand by that. I love the little oinks, the little oinks dispenser. I got to get all the patterns of little oinks. Next comment. Platty Pete, a fitness title, not for launch though, shows the continued commitment to the health and lifestyle crowd and showing off new features of the console. I also think it's very possible we see a fitness game of some kind. In fact, I considered the possibility that we could get a Ring Fit sequel or remake or alternative, since Ring Fit kind of won't be easily playable on the Switch 2, if it's even playable at all because of the whole Joy-Con situation. If it's not Ring Fit, and they've also been pushing hard with the fitness boxing games, which actually are really fun, by the way, but I could see there being something fitness-wise. Nintendo's kind of done a good job of pacing those games out and getting them out. Shadownade has shared their bingo. I gotta make a bingo before Wednesday. I'm probably gonna forget until like Wednesday morning. They've got most of the stuff we've talked about. Silk Song. We didn't talk about Silk Song. I don't want to see Silk Song. Facts. I do not want Silk Song to be in the direct. I'm over it. Get out of here, Silk Song. You don't get to be in any more directs. You don't get to get your trailer out anymore. This is on you. Anyway. Elden Ring, Smash Bros, Hades 2. It's a lot of stuff we've talked about. New Kirby. I personally don't think we'll get a new Kirby just yet, but who knows? Spec rundown. You know, that's kind of a curious thing. Do we think they're going to talk about specs, the internals, on the Direct? I kind of don't think they are. I think they might, you know, talk about 4K output or runs that, you know, makes it so games run at 60 FPS all the time, or, you know, whatever. But I don't think they're going to get too much into actual specs. They don't. It's just not something Nintendo tends to do. Also, they probably won't be that impressive. And it's worth saying on the stream, but maybe they are. 1-2 Switch 2. The name writes itself. I actually like that name. I like that better than 2-2 Switch, which is what I said. Sorry, that was from Captain Kinopio. Mark Leota says, F-Zero, Kid Icarus, Star Fox. Oh yeah, not a lot of people have said Star Fox, but it has been a long time since we've seen Star Fox. Unfortunately, his recent forays have not been super successful, so that's kind of why. Murray says, I'm one of the diluted ones expecting a Switch 2 version of Prime 4. I don't think it's diluted. I think it's possible. it's not. I'm still on the fence about it, but I think it's not. It's completely possible at this point. If not, I at least expect it will be used as an example of enhanced performance and maybe unique features for Switch 1 games played on Switch 2, coupled with release date. Jerry Vargas says, new 3D Mario show. Oh, show. I don't think they would show that on the Switch 2. Unless you meant to say shown. New 3D Mario shown. In which case, yeah. I thought, not TV show. Ocarina of Time remake. I think it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened someday, but I don't think it's going to happen for this. Hi, Mike. Beautiful Joe. It's been a long time. It could be your time for Beautiful Joe. Could happen. A new Wario and Waluigi game. I want a Waluigi-centered game. Will York says, I predict that Switch 2 will have eShop functionality with Wii U and Nintendo 3DS alongside with the current Switch versions. One can only hope at this point. Chris UK says, we will see a Breath of the Wild demo Switch and Switch 2 back-to-back to show the difference with Mario Kart and Breath of the Wild HD being the only first-party games announced. Pessimistic. Wow. If we only... Yeah, I don't think... That would be bad, but I don't know. Metroid Prime 4, this is Shad Can. Metroid Prime 4 is the launch title, and the next 3D Mario is open world. They tried to do open world with Odyssey, just sort of open world. Still had a hub. Not even. All right, so that was everything on Twitter. Let's look at Blue Sky. Triss followed up on Roger's Base's Sim City comment and said, can I just get a Hyrule Sim City? Sorry, let me start that one again. Can I just get a Hyrule Sim City game post Tears of the Kingdom? Which, yes, I would enjoy that a lot. Amber says the C button stands for cranberries. All games on the Switch 2 must feature cranberries in some way, and it's an integral button to the gameplay. Watiniak, I'm sorry for butchering usernames. I wouldn't have thought of... Oh, I'm replying to something else. Oh, hold on. Okay, so Brandon. What a mess. Brandon from Good Vibes Gaming says, I predict the 2 will fall off the logo and they'll spend 45 minutes trying to find it. The stream will abruptly end and all mention of the Switch 2 will be wiped from our collective consciousness. Okay. And then Watiniak said, I wouldn't have thought that one myself, but it makes complete sense now that you mention it. So great. That's where our minds are at now. Fair says the C button stands for cafe, a reference to the Wii U code name, which is cute, but I don't know how that helps us understand. Unless there's like a cafe mode, like a rooftop mode. But it's cafe mode. Gross Gamer. I don't believe it myself, but just to throw a crazy prediction out, Mario Maker 3, almost entirely Wonder theme, showing off new Wonder Seeds as a mechanic, using Joy-Con mouses as a new interface for building stages. We not on stream, but I talked about this with my boyfriend a little bit earlier. And I think the Joy-Con mouses are actually super well suited to Mario Maker. Not necessarily meaning that we have Mario Maker 3 on the horizon, but we could, or it could be like the Nintendo dungeon building Mario Maker or something else entirely. I do think that those Joy-Con optical sensors are barking up the right tree for that. Cassandra says Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake. A Standard Human says, I predict that the Nintendo Online playtest thing, that's what we were just talking about, will be the new social hub / Miiverse replacement. Please. Something cool like that, I would be so happy. I'd be so pleased. Meg Cherry says, GTA 5, GTA 6, great, even more believable. GTA 6 will be available day one on Switch 2. Again, That would be so cool. Very funny for me. It's asking for a lot. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be hilarious. Who knows? Who knows? Blas, I'm saying that wrong. Scalebound will be resurrected and it will be a Switch 2 first game. Atreyu says, I will always yearn for Kid Icarus Uprising HD or a sequel. Same. I think we'll see updates to new games like Fortnite to take advantage of the new power. Metroid Prime 2 HD. Well, we got same wavelengths here. And a Xenoblade collection bundle. Xenoblade Chronicles with the DLC Definitive Edition, obviously, is another one that I thought would probably be a really good candidate for Switch 2 edition game, as in a nice big upgrade to be able to see everything crystal clear. Xenoblade Chronicles HD Definitive Edition, whatever it's called, is beautiful. It's beautiful on the Switch. It looks great. Would it look better in 4K? Yeah, I think so, probably. I would assume. Circuit Rewind says Half-Life 3 is the killer app launch day title. If you say so. That is a fun prediction. Rick from the D-pad says Mario Paint for Nintendo Switch Online. I'm into it. I always say this wrong in my head. Later Gator to you. Largaar to you. Says Tokyo Mirage Sessions 2. Would love that. I never finished Tokyo Mirage Sessions, even though I bought it multiple times now. Super fun game. Long, kind of. Longer than I was willing to dedicate to it, clearly. But I don't know if it sold well enough to justify there being a second one. But they did put it on multiple consoles. But I think after they put it on Switch, when it still didn't sell super well, I don't know. I haven't looked at recent sales titles. Welcome to the game room. Mike was in this chat. It says, a likely Twilight Princess Wind Waker, please. Realistic Metaphor ReFantazio. I actually really want to play that, so I would love that as a port on the Switch. Or the Persona 3 remake. Anyway, Ridiculous Beautiful Joe. What do you mean ridiculous? That's realistic, kind of. Jordan says, I predict that my wallet won't be happy about any of this. Same. Also, maybe new Star Fox game. Isaac Wolf says the Twilight Princess Wind Waker remaster, which have been rumors for ages. I agree with that, although I will say my thing about it being rumored for ages is some rumors I'm like, yeah, this rumor came from somewhere. The Twilight Princess Wind Waker HD rumors never came from anywhere credible. So they just kind of like circulated and then kept circulating louder and louder. But I never felt like confident that it's something that Nintendo was actually working on. I kind of think now at this point they are actually working on it and now it could come out. But years ago, like 3 years ago, where we started saying, it might come this year, I don't think that it even was a thought at that point in time. I think I'm almost up to the end of this list. Zachary says that was about the Zelda movie. Xeon's prediction for the Direct is Bill Trinen, which I agree. At least I would like to see Bill Trinen. It's been a long time since he's shown up in a Direct. I miss him. I didn't look to see if there were any new comments on the YouTube thing. Hold on. I gotta make sure I get all of the responses in here. It's important. Where's my... I have to pull it up on the computer. It won't show it to me on my app. The YouTube community tab is a pain in my butt. It's gonna play some annoying video. It's gonna play my home video, actually. Hold on. Oh, it didn't. Phew. Phew. I don't even think anyone commented, but let me just double check and make sure. Oh, just kidding. There's 9 comments. Okay. Let's see. Oh, some of these are just repeats from what we just read. iJacob says the C button is for community. Fingers crossed. Instead of having to add friends to play with online, you can join communities like servers on Discord. Don't break my heart when something like that's not true. Example, you want to play online with a group of fans. Normally, you'd have to either add them as friends or use the game's room creating feature of sharing a code. But with community, playing online with groups is way more streamlined. I would be so happy. Or if like I hit the C and it pings out to everybody on my friends list and it's like, NFG is looking for someone to play Mario Party with or something like that. That would make me so happy. A Mario game, this is Mithril Mar. A Mario game where the main villain is Luigi, or at least where Mario and Luigi don't work together. I like it. I like it. Gaming Legend 14590. I hope that we get a new Mario game for the Switch too. Same. Peanut Butter Panda. I'd like them to bring back the Wii U mode where you can use the tablet as a secondary display while playing on the TV. I agree. I've actually thought about this a lot. My early predictions for the Switch 2 before we got the first look trailer were all that. They're all about how they were going to let me use the Switch as a tablet and use the TV as a second screen and use that to like play A, Wii U games, B, DS games because you got a bottom screen for your touch screen and you got your top screen as a TV, and C, all of the games that use like the GBA connection on GameCube and stuff like that. I'm feeling less confident in that now that we've gotten the first look, but it would be great if they could include that as a mode of some kind. We Are Online says, I don't know that. Oh, wait, I can translate to English. Here we go. I hope there will be innovations that can also happen for innovative games. But I'm afraid it might just be a hardware upgrade. You know what? I think, honestly, it's not going to be just a hardware upgrade. I don't think it's going to be anything groundbreaking, but I think the optical sensor on the Joy-Cons and whatever that new USB-C outlet on the top of the system is, and everything else, well, hopefully the UI in particular, I hope that it's not just a hardware upgrade. I also really hope that the USB-C port on the top isn't just a second power port. But it could be. Who knows? Hi, kitty. Hi. Let's see. Greg Long says, a new Animal Crossing is going to be shown off, but it won't release until 2026. I agree. I'm hoping it's earlier than that, but I still think Animal Crossing is a thing. Ooh, Sir Mel. Genshin Impact. Thank you for mentioning that. I've only been predicting Genshin Impact for every single stream, every single Nintendo Direct for the past, 4 years, ever since it was originally announced, which I think was in, I don't even remember, 2019 or 2018. I don't remember. They announced Genshin Impact on the Switch so long ago. And I actually stopped playing for a long time. I'm not currently playing it because I was like, why am I going to keep progressing? I'd rather just play it on the Switch when it comes out on the Switch. And then it still never did. However, they did confirm not that long ago, within the past year and a half, they said it was still coming out on the Switch. So, Robin, don't be bad. Just be bad. And the last one we have is the mouse function will allow us to play Steam games just like how Xbox is doing that whole deal with Steam. So will Nintendo. I can't even imagine what that would open up. I can't. Yes, that would be amazing. I think it's super unlikely, but wow, that would be incredible if they could do Steam functionality on the Switch. Or if I could even just stream my Steam games to Switch. I would do it. PokePark. I'm just reading the chat now. Nintendogs remake. Agree. Hi, Zach. Hope you're well. All right. Well, it's almost 10 p.m. You know what that means. I've been streaming for like half hour longer than I even intended to. We're only a few days away. Let me show this. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. I lost my OBS. Here we go. A few days away. Really excited to see what the future holds. Most of my hopes are around UI, are around community, are around multiplayer and stuff like that. Fingers crossed we get some solid upgrades and that we actually get to see them. That would be cool. I'm actually pulling up because I don't think I wrote it down. What time that the direct starts? Is it 10 a.m.? I'm pulling it up so I don't give bad information. I took the whole day off work so that I don't have to do anything whatsoever except watch this direct and then talk about it. I'm pulling it up right now, so I'll tell you. Ooh, Xenoblade Chronicles External in the Nintendo store. Hold on. Hold on. I thought they had it pinned, and they don't. You know what? You know what they're making me do? I'm going to do... I have to open the Nintendo Today app. I'm doing it. Oh, my screen is dirty. Switch to 3 days to go. Oh, all it says is 3 days. It doesn't tell me what time. Wow, that's rude. Is it in my calendar? Hold on. So in the Nintendo Today app, ta-da, there's a calendar. Sorry, my screen, it's not actually that dirty, just when the light's shining on it like that. So if I go to April 2nd, we have Nintendo Direct. It is live. You can't see that, but it's live at 9 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. So that's early for you West Coast people. I'm sorry, but I will be up. I'll be live. I'm going to probably aim to be live at 8 a.m. So we have plenty of time to chit chat, talk some more. 8:30 at the latest. I'm probably only going to be live on YouTube, judging by how the multi-stream situation worked today. Not good. Probably will be just YouTube. But I'm glad we tested it today so that I'm not messing around with it on Wednesday morning. And even if you would like to watch the direct without commentary, please come hang out, chat with us, before the stream, and then you can hop over to the Nintendo Direct stream at 9 and hop back on over here after. It's just fun. It's fun to get all the hype, together. Everyone talking, sharing their thoughts and what they're happy about, what they're not happy about, what they wish they saw, what they can't believe they saw, that kind of thing. So I hope to see some of you there. I'm going to head out. If you happen to be watching this in the future, first of all, if you're watching this right now in the live stream and you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, it would be really cool if you could do that. Just saying. There'll be a cool little balloon that goes across the screen. It's really cool. Anyway, but if you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this in the future, leave a comment with your predictions. It's always good to get them written out so that when you end up being right about some crazy long shot idea, you can go back and screenshot it and be like, I said this 3 days ago. It's fun. It's very fun. Usually I think that that's going to happen and then I never get anything right, so it doesn't matter. You never got a balloon. I don't know why then. No balloon for baseball. All right. I'm going to go to sleep and dream about all of the games that we are going to get and all of the games that we're not going to get. I hope you all have a really nice couple days of hype leading up into this Nintendo Direct on Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I'll be here on YouTube. Hopefully I'll have caffeine because I'll be very tired if not. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm very excited. All right. Okay. We'll talk later. Love you. Mwah. Bye. Bye. I didn't say Deku, but Deku, Deku, Deku. I'm still here. Shh.